আইসিয়া তোমাদের সবাই আসছে?
স্যার এখনো সবাই আসছে নাই।
কি ওয়েট করবো তাহলে?
জি স্যার 5 মিনিট ওয়েট করেন।
ওকে।
স্যার কয়েকজন ওয়েটিং রুমে আছে। স্যার শুরু করেন দেন স্যার, যাদের আসার তারা চলে আসছে।
আমি 2 মিনিট পরে শুরু করব।
ওকে স্যার।
তোমরা কি দেখতে পাচ্ছ?
দেখা যাচ্ছে না স্যার।
এবার দেখতে পাচ্ছ?
জি স্যার।
জি স্যার।
জি স্যার।
Okay, so until the last class, we are discussing the structure of the wood. So our target is to move towards the molecular structure. Still today we will discuss the molecular structure, and you will see the structure of woods. So we have discussed the different cellular layers and their position in different chemicals, their position in the cell wall. So two more things we will discuss today, that is the microfibrils and their structure and how they are oriented in the cell wall. You have some basic idea that we have discussed in the last class, and you have also mentioned in that. So but what you have mentioned about the microfibril, that was not particularly 100% true. So try to understand what is microfibril and what is their structure and how they are oriented. I'm not saying what you know that is wrong, but what you know that was the basic, that was just very simple. So try to understand what is microfibril, because that is very important. And when you think about the structure, you have to think about the structure of the microfibril, their orientation. That is very important. This is a cell at the left side. You can see the trachea, and when we just get a section of that, you will just see different layers are there. So there is true middle lamella, then there is primary wall, there is secondary wall, and secondary wall is subdivided into three different layers. And at the innermost part, sometimes there is alti layer. So all these layers we have discussed earlier. And if we see the cross section of that cell, of that section, you will see there is white portion and dark portion. So the dark portion will say that is the macrofibril. Remember that that is not microfibril. We are saying that is the macrofibril. So that is a different terminology you will try to understand today. Macrofibril. So we are not saying that is the microfibril. So that is a macrofibril, and also there is another terminology, that is the lamella. For there is also 4 different lamellas is there. So even if we get the cross section of that, you will see there is microfibril and some part is crystalline. And if we go for the crystalline section, you will see there is glucose unit, and that glucose unit is connected. So that is actually the cellular chain. So now if we talk, if we say, we can say glucose makes the microfibril, that microfibril makes the macrofibril, and macrofibril makes the lamella. So you will just see the gradual progress. So first we are saying glucose unit, that glucose unit makes the cellular chain, that cellular chain makes the microfibril, that microfibril makes the macrofibril, and that macrofibril makes the lamella. So that is just uh, gradually we are saying. Now you can say elementary fibrils are the smallest unit. In the last class, you have mentioned that microfibril is the smallest unit. You have to mention that elementary fibril. So elementary fibril makes that microfibril. In other way, we can say glucose makes the cellulose, cellulose makes the microfibril or elementary fibril. So glucose is the smallest building block, but that you cannot say. You have to say that elementary fibrils are the smallest building block of the wood, and that is made from cellular chain. So now you will just see supermolecular structure if you just want to see. So that is 40 cellular chain we are saying. So that cellulose chain is made from glucose, and 40 cellular chain comes together and it makes the elementary fibril. So that we are saying that is the smallest unit. But earlier classes you have mentioned that microfibril is the smallest building block, but that is not true. True is the elementary fibril is the smallest building block because the cellular chain comes together and the primary unit that makes that is the elementary fibril. Then 16 elementary fibril. So remember that that 40, that 16 or 4, whatever we are saying, that is not 100% that will be always. So that is average that we are saying generally. So 40 cellular chain generally makes a on elementary fibril, and when 16 elementary fibril comes together, we are saying that is the microfibril, and 4 microfibril makes the macrofibril, and several macrofibrils make lamella. Several lamella make cell also. Try to understand the basic part, basic when from where it starts. It starts with the glucose. Glucose makes chain that we are saying cellulose. And when 40 cellulose comes together, uh, when 40 cellulose comes together, then we are saying that is the 40 cellulose comes together, we are saying that is the elementary fibril, 16 elementary fibril makes the microfibril, 4 microfibril makes the macrofibril, several macrofibril makes lamella, and several lamella is equal to cellule. So if we look at the figure at the left side, you will see there is cellulose, hemicellulose, and lignin. So cellulose that is at the center, and besides that, there is some gaps. That gap is filled by the hemicelluloses, and finally the outer portion that is the lignin. So microfibril is considered at the skeleton of the wood, and beside that skeleton there is some filling material that is we are saying hemicellulose, and something that is there. So that makes bond we are saying that is the lignin. So now you know lamella. So that several lamella that make the cellule, and in the lamella, if we look, if we see, so at the central portion in each lamella, so there is several lamella is there. So in each lamella, there is at the center there is cellulose. Then beside that there is hemicellulose, and finally there is lignin. So that are the different orientation. You know microfibril. So and also you know what is cellular chain. Cellular chain that makes from the glucose. Now one more terminology I think you know. So in the microfibril, you have earlier studied that there is two different regions. One is crystalline region and another one is amorphous region. That you have some idea. So crystalline region, it means that the cellular chain that should be parallel to each other. And in the amorphous region, so that cellular chain is not parallel, that is in irregular shape. So when that is parallel, so that the bonding between two uh, cellular chain, so that should be unique, that should be stronger. However, when that cellular chain is not parallel, so that the bonding is not like regular bonding. So because of that irregularities in the bonding, that bonding is not stronger. So this section has the affinity to water. However, in the crystalline region, that it has a stronger bond between two different cellular chain, and because of that two different cellular chain, so and there is a stronger bond, so it doesn't have the affinity to water. So earlier you have studied amorphous region, it has the affinity to water, it likes water. However, in case of crystalline region, it doesn't have affinity. That affinity comes because there is irregular bonding, and because of that irregular bonding, the bonding is not stronger. So it has the affinity to water. And generally, or we say wood has the affinity to water, it absorbs water, that we always say, and it has the inherent properties because the crystalline region, it has both amorphous and it has both crystalline region. So crystalline region doesn't absorb moisture, but amorphous region, it will absorb moisture, and definitely that will be present in the wood. Not only in some wood there is amorphous and crystalline, some wood only crystalline, some wood only amorphous, not like that. In all the woods, it has both amorphous, both crystalline. So because of that amorphous region, because of that irregular bonding, and because of that irregularities, there is not a stronger bonding, so that it can absorb moisture and it has the affinity to water. So if you look at the below figure, you will see there is cellulose chain oriented horizontally. That oriented horizontally, and you will see in the horizontal orientation there is both intermolecular hydrogen bond and also intramolecular hydrogen bond. So within that cellulose chain, it has some bonding between two hydrogen, sorry, it has bonding, hydrogen bonding, and between two cellulose chain it has also bonding. So now we are saying that the hydrogen bonding between two cellulose chain, so that is very stronger in case of crystalline area. However, in the amorphous region, that intra and intercellulose hydrogen bonding is not stronger. So because of that very stronger hydrogen bond between two cellulose chain and within a cellulose chain, so in the crystalline region, it cannot absorb moisture. However, in the amorphous region, it can absorb moisture. So that are the things. So why wood has the affinity to water? The answer is quite simple, because wood has amorphous and crystalline region. Amorphous region, in the amorphous region, the hydrogen bond between and within cellulose chain is not stronger, and that is definitely irregular. So because of that irregularities, the bonds are weaker, and because of that weaker bonding, it has the affinity to water, so that would absorb water. So remember that there might have some question in the final exam like that: why would absorb moisture, or why amorphous region has the affinity to water but crystalline region doesn't have the affinity to water. So however, in the earlier figure, if you just see, we are saying cellulose, then hemicellulose. However, and in this figure, we are saying that some part is crystalline and some part is amorphous. However, the recent study, it means that in every cellulose chain, so not yet proved. However, scientists have proposed the recent idea. So that is that in every cellulose chain, the inner portion is crystalline and the outer portion is amorphous. Not like this portion, that is a long chain microfibril, and one part is crystalline, one part is amorphous. That was the earlier proposed. You see, these are the cellulose chain oriented. So we are saying some part amorphous, some part crystalline. But in the recent study, scientists are proposing that the central portion is the crystalline and the outer portion of that cellulose chain is amorphous. Whatever, not yet proved. However, you should know that there should have two different methods or two different thinkings. One is the first thing they are saying that in a microfibril, some part is amorphous, some part is crystalline. But in the second uh, proposal, in the recent second proposal, scientists are saying that the inner portion of the crystalline, inner portion of the cellulose chain is crystalline, and the outer portion of the cellulose is amorphous. So the cell all is assembled by gluing together, and that glue comes from the lignin. So lignin is the cementing material in case of wood, and some technology used to produce a composite material nowadays. So you have at least heard that there is particle board, there is some other boards that we can produce that is quite simple. In high temperature and pressure, you add some glue so that it turns into like woody material. We are saying particle board, we are saying composite material, we are saying veneer board, whatever the case is. So that we are saying composite material. Composite material, it means composition of two or more materials. So wood is like composition of cellulose, hemicellulose, lignin. Also the properties of cellulose, the properties of hemicellulose, and the properties of lignin, that is different, but when they comes together it makes the wood and it has different properties. So in case of composite material, the same thing, there will have more than two material, and when they come together with high temperature and pressure, so the properties of the new material that will be different from the original material. ক্লাস নিয়ে তারপর আসবে। হ্যাঁ, 11টার আগে নাসিম জানালটা আপডেট দিবে। হ্যাঁ, হ্যাঁ, হ্যাঁ। আপডেট দিবে। Sorry. So the cell all that assembled together, and we can say that is also the composite material, and that comes together. And so we can say wood that is also a composite material mixed from cellulose, hemicellulose, and lignin. And the properties of cellulose, hemicellulose, and lignin, that is different from the properties of the wood. So definitely wood is a composite material, we can say. So there is some intrafiber microfibrillar space, and there is intramicrofibrillar space, and that intermicrofibrillar space that is filled by the hemicellulose, lignin, and pectin substances. That we can say a bit. So now if you just look at this figure, at the center you just see that is cell wall, and in the cell wall there is green color, so that is the cellulose chain, and in between two cellulose chain there is some filling material that is either hemicellulose and lignin. So there is another new terminology. I think you have also studied microfibril angle. So you have some idea about the microfibril angle. So we will also discuss a bit the microfibril angle. So in this figure, you will just see. Okay, so look at the structure at the right side figure. You will see in the S1 layer. So there is two lines, black lines that comes from right to left and left to right. But in the S2 layer, that is only on almost straight direction. And in the S3 layer, that is also left to right and right to left. So if you just see, so this is on cell fiber, we are saying, and it has some axis. So in the S1 layer, if you can just remember, some of the lines coming from left to right and right to left. So, okay, let's think that the line is coming from left to right. So it makes some angle with the cell axis. So that we are saying microfibril angle. And if it comes in the right hand side, so cell fiber axis, and the orientation of the microfibril, the angle between that is called the microfibril angle. So the angle between, so if you just look at the right side figure, you will just see, or even the left on, you will see that is clearly in the S1 layer. So that is oriented both right hand side and left hand side. In the S2 layer, that is only in the almost straight, and in the S3 layer, in both direction that is oriented. So it has some cell axis or fiber axis, whatever we say, and some of the microfibrils it makes angle. So that we are saying, you will just see it clear. So in the right hand side, microfibril oriented in the right hand side, it makes angle with the fiber axis that we are saying Z helix. Helix, it means a spiral. So if it left to right, then left to right, just orientation like that. So that angle we will say Z helix. So that orientation we will say Z helix, and the opposite from right hand to left hand. So if it makes the angle, so that is the S helix. So right hand side, left to right it comes, we will say Z helix, and right to left we are saying S helix. So the orientation that might be from left to right, orientation of microfibril that may be from left to right or right to left, and it from left to right we'll say that is the Z helix, and right to left we'll say S helix, but both has the angle because that makes angle with the cell axis. So again you see the figure. So in the S1 layer, that is both S helix, that is both Z helix, but in case of S2 only Z helix because only right hand side, but no S helix. And in the S3, again, there is both S and Z helix. So now you just see the orientation of the microfibril that we have studied earlier, because in the true middle lamella, we are saying there is no cellulose. So definitely there is no microfibril, because microfibril comes from glucose. Glucose makes cellulose. Cellulose makes elementary fibril. Cellular chain makes elementary fibril. Elementary fibril makes microfibril. Microfibril makes macrofibril. Macrofibril makes lamella. Lamella makes the cell wall. So that is that is the gradual progress. So middle lamella, true middle lamella or middle lamella, there is no cellulose. In the primary wall, even there is no cellulose we are mentioning, or very smaller portion. So generally we ignore it. Now you just see the lamella. In the S1 layer, there is 4 to 6 lamella. In the S2 layer, there is 30 to 150 lamella, and in the S3 layer, there is 2 to 4 lamella. So the percentage we are saying S2, that is mostly that is the cell wall. So that is 85%. Then S1 it has 7%, and S2 it has 3%. So the angle we are saying microfibril angle, you just see the microfibril angle that is highest in the 50 to 70 in the S1 layer. If you just look at the left side figure, you will just see that is almost horizontal, so that the angle is more because it makes angle with the cell axis. So that is a bigger angle. And in the S2 layer, you will just see almost parallel to the cell axis, so the angle is very low. And in the S3 layer, again, it has a higher angle, so almost horizontal like that. So it has higher angle, and the spirality. So the things we have mentioned earlier. So in the S1 layer, it has both left to right direction and right to left direction. That is S and Z helix. In the S2 layer, you will just see there is only Z helix, and in the S3 layer, again there is S and Z helix. So in the microfibril orientation in the true middle lamella, there is none. Primordial, there might have some microfibril. However, we just ignore it because the proportion is very low. Then in the S1 layer, definitely there is a good amount. However, its contribution is only 7%. However, the most of the cellulose that comes from the S2 layer, and we are saying very high. And again in the S3 sublayer, we are saying that is the fair. So that are the different things we are discussing. So what is the impact of that microfibril angle in tooth shrinkage and swelling? So if you just see the two figures from the left side, so that is the number on that is just before drying, and that is after drying. So before drying, you see the gap between black and white lines are quite bigger. And in case of number 2, when it dries, it comes closer. So that is the orientation of the microfibril. So it has a lower angle because you just see almost parallel with the cell axis. So it comes less together. But when just now look at the right side figure, so that is almost horizontal. So horizontal, it means when that will be dried, so it will try to be just like parallel to the cell axis, so that there will be more shrinkage. So if the uh, microfibril angle is lower, so that there will be low shrinkage. If the microfibril angle is higher, so that there will be higher shrinkage. That from this figure that is clear. So right hand side, we are saying from left to right, if the microfibril moves from left to right, we will say that is the Z helix, and from right to left, we will say that is the S helix. So that we are saying, and the angle it makes with the fiber axis, so that we are saying that is the microfibril angle. So always we prefer lower microfibril angle if we want to control the shrinkage or swelling. So that are the orientation of the or structure of the cell wall. That is very important, because where cellulose, hemicellulose, lignin, our target is to go for the molecular structure. It means where is cellulose, where is hemicellulose, where is lignin. So if we know the structure properly, so that we will understand how it goes. Where is cellulose, where is hemicellulose, where is lignin, that we will understand very clearly. So that is the different structure. And now we have reached with the cellulose, so that from next slide we'll start to discuss about the cellulose. Then we'll go for the different products that will be produced from the cellulose, and finally we'll after that we'll go for the hemicellulose. But we will not study the details of the hemicellulose, because that is very complicated. So many different chemicals that we are saying hemicellulose, that may be 3 carbon sugar, that may be 4 carbon sugar, that may be 5 carbon sugar, that may be 6 carbon sugar, that may be 7 carbon sugar, or that may be 8 carbon sugar. So 3 to 8 carbon sugar, it can make the hemicellulose, but most commonly that is 5 and 6. So we will discuss a bit about that hemicellulose, and finally lignin, and then we will go for the extractive. So that is our strategy for this course. So we have finished the structure. Now, if you have any question regarding the structure, because from the next slide we will start the cellulose. So if you have any question regarding the structure, so you can go for it, so that I will try to answer all those questions.
স্যার আগের স্লাইডটাই F2 থেটা বলে একটা ছিল স্যার, এইটার মানে কি বুঝতে পারিনি।
What is theta?
স্যার
That is
এর
the
আগের
angle.
যে স্লাইড,
That theta indicates the angle. That is the microfibril angle.
কিন্তু স্যার S2 থেটা একসাথে, এটা বুঝলাম না
কোথায় is 2 theta?
স্যার। এই যে স্যার নিচে, স্যার এর পরের স্লাইডটাই স্যার, এই যে
So
নিচে
that is the angle in the secondary layer. So this figure indicates the angle, microfibril angle in the S2 layer.
Okay, sir.
Anybody, any other question?
Sir, I have a question.
Carry on.
So I didn't understand the different layer has different angles. Sir, why?
That is the structure. We didn't make it. Nature makes that. So ask to the creator why he make it. We are trying to explaining the nature. We are not creating any angle. What we have got, we are trying to explain. But why it has different layers, it has different angles, different direction of the microfibril, why it happens, that we don't know. How we will say that why that happens? If you ask me why this time is day and why after 12 hours that is night, can I answer it? Can I answer that?
No, sir.
Any other question from anybody?
স্যার সুপার মলিকুলার স্ট্রাকচারে কি স্যার ওই সংখ্যাগুলো কি স্যার পরিবর্তন হতে পারে, যে 4টা ম্যাক্রোফাইবিল থেকে স্যার 4টা মাইক্রোফাইল দেখলাম এগুলোর
So
কি স্যার
that
কোনো
I have mentioned earlier, that is the average. That is not true that always there will have a 16 cellular chain or 40 cellular chain makes the elementary fibril. That will not happen always. The average is that around 40 cellular chain it will make the elementary fibril. That is not only just 40 will make, not like that. Okay.
ওকে স্যার
স্যার
Any other question?
ক্রিস্টালাইন স্ট্রাকচার আর ক্রিস্টালাইন স্ট্রাকচার আর অ্যামরফাস স্ট্রাকচার ওইটা যে অ্যাফিনিটি টু ওয়াটার এটার সাথে কি রিলেশন এটা একবার
ওখানে কি বুঝো নাই?
স্যার মূলত ক্রিস্টালাইন স্ট্রাকচারটা কি আর অ্যামরফাস স্ট্রাকচারটা কি এইটা মূলত ভালোভাবে বুঝতে পারিনি।
আচ্ছা, কি কতটুকু বুঝতে পারছো সেটা বলো।
স্যার এইটা বুঝতে পারছি যে ক্রিস্টালাইন স্ট্রাকচারটা হবে সেল অ্যাক্সিসের সাথে প্যারালালি আর অ্যামরফাস স্ট্রাকচারটা ইররেগুলার শেপে আছে আর অ্যামরফাস স্ট্রাকচার ওয়াটার লাইক করে।
তোমাকে সেল অ্যাক্সিস এর কথা মোটেও বলি নাই তখন। আমি যখন অ্যামরফাস আর ক্রিস্টালাইন রিজিয়ন পড়াইলাম তখন তো আমি সেল অ্যাক্সিস এর কথা বলি নাই। সেল অ্যাক্সিস এর সম্পর্ক হলো মাইক্রোফিব্রিল অ্যাঙ্গেলের সাথে। তুমি এই স্ট্রাকচার কোথায় পাইলা? এই তোমরা কে বুঝতে পারছো বলো তো? অ্যামরফাস আর ক্রিস্টালাইন।
স্যার অ্যামরফাস স্ট্রাকচার
Cellular
হচ্ছে
chain
হাইড্রোজেন বন্ড উইক এবং ক্রিস্টালাইনে হচ্ছে
একজন বলো।
হাইড্রোজেন বন্ড স্ট্রং। অ্যামরফাস স্ট্রাকচারে হচ্ছে হাইড্রোজেন বন্ড উইক আর ক্রিস্টালাইনে হচ্ছে হাইড্রোজেন বন্ড স্ট্রং। আর
কেন?
অ্যামরফাস হচ্ছে ইররেগুলার আর ক্রিস্টালাইনে রেগুলার স্যার, রেগুলার শেপ।
আর কিছু বলবা কেউ? অ্যাডিশনাল কিছু বলবে এটার সাথে?
স্যার ক্রিস্টালাইনে স্যার সেলুলোজ চেন গুলা প্যারালালি থাকে আর অ্যামরফাসে স্যার
আমি কি এই সময় মাইক্রোফিব্রিল অ্যাঙ্গেল, সেল অ্যাক্সিস এইসব কোনো কথা বলছিলাম? এই স্লাইড পড়ানোর সময় এই ধরনের কোনো কথা বলছিলাম? সেল অ্যাক্সিস এর কোনো কোশ্চেন কি আসছিল?
নো স্যার।
মনে পড়ে?
না স্যার
তাহলে এটার সাথে মিক্স করতেছো কেন? So if you just look at this figure, the upper on, you will see there is two different regions. At the left portion, that is left side, that is the amorphous. At the right hand side, that is also amorphous. And if you see the figure in the left and right, so you will see that is irregular, not parallel, not like trend line, right? And at the central portion, we are saying that is the crystalline. So that is just parallel to each other, and each line indicates that that is a cellular chain. So now we will say in the crystalline region, the cellular chain are parallel to each other. In the amorphous region, that is not parallel. So what happens if that is parallel? If that is not parallel, if that is parallel, it means that the bonding is regular bonding, and when the bonding is regular, it means it makes the stronger bond. But in the both left and right hand side, you will see the bonding is not regular. So because of that irregular bonding, so the bonding is not stronger, it makes the weaker bonds, and that weaker bonds, so that weaker bonds, and so mostly in wood you will see the hydrogen bond. So we are saying in the amorphous region it has weaker hydrogen bond. In the right hand side, that is also weaker hydrogen bond, but at the central region or at the central portion of this figure, we are saying that is the crystalline, that is stronger hydrogen bond. So that has weaker hydrogen bond, so that it has the affinity to water. But in the crystalline region, that has the stronger hydrogen bond, so it has less affinity to water, or we can say that is it doesn't have any affinity to water. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Any other question from anybody?
Sir, yes.
এন্ড জেড হেলিকেসটা ভালো করে বুঝতে পারিনি।
কতটুকু বুঝতে পারছো বলো?
স্যার এসটা স্যার আপনার রাইট টু লেফট ওরিয়েন্টেড থাকবে, আর স্যার জেডটা লেফট টু রাইট, এইটুক স্যার।
এটুকুই তো বোঝার, আর তো কিছু নাই। We are saying that the microfibril can orient from left hand to right hand side, because in the figure you will see some of the microfibrils in the S1 layer. If you just look at the S1 layer, see this figure at the left hand side. So at the S1 sublayer you will see some, there is just like diamond shape structure in the S1, right? It means some of the microfibrils come from left to side, some of the microfibrils comes from right to left. If the microfibrils come from left to right, we will say that is the Z helix. And if from right hand side to left hand side the microfibril moves, so we are saying that is the S helix. So just now individually you will just see. So microfibril is coming from left to right, we are saying that is the Z. That is orientation. When you just make the spiral, if it just from left to right just a spiral happens, we are saying Z. Helix is means helices, it means spiral. So spiral starts from left and moves towards the right, that is the Z. And the spiral start from right, moves towards the left, so that is the S. So just like opposite to the clock, that is Z, and following the clock, that is the S. Is it clear?
ইয়েস স্যার।
Any other question? Any other question from anybody? Any other question from anybody? No. Okay, so we'll go for the second slide. Okay, so we'll start the cellulose. So cellulose is the main constituent because that provides the strength to the wood. Even we are saying strength to the tree, and that is around 40 to 50%. So this percent you will see in different books in different percentage, because that depends on the different types of species they have analyzed, because different scientists are working with the different species. The sample they have collected from different places, so that is not fixed. If you say that is 40%, that's true. If you say 42%, that is also true. If you say 50%, that also true, because that depends on different species, and depending on the species, definitely that varies. Then earlier we have discussed a bit that cellulose chain that is actually made from glucose. So glucose, you know, it has 6 carbons, C6H12O6. That generally we say glucose, right? Do you agree with that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so 6 carbon sugar, we are saying that is the glucose. So definitely that is a carbohydrate, because the definition of the carbohydrate that we have mentioned, never say that carbohydrate, it means hydrated carbon. CaSO makes carbohydrate, that you will get 0, because it should have CaSO definitely. You can say hydrated carbon, you can say carbon with water, that is However, at the same time, you have to mention that that should be sugar, otherwise that will not carbohydrate, because lignin, that is also made from CaSO, but that is not sugar. So if you say hydrated carbon is carbohydrate, you will get 0. So there in a glucose there is 5-hydroxyl functional group, and it definitely makes from 6 carbon, and that group arranged in a very specific way. So in the backbone, carbon backbone, so that hydroxyl functional group is just connected to each other. So that is made from 6 carbon. We are saying that is the hexols, because if that is made from 5 carbon, we will say that is the pentols. So just like that. So because of that hexols, so aldose we are saying. So if you just see at the below 2 figure, you will see definitely both is C6H12O6. However, the orientation is different. The position of the functional O is functional group, that is you just see different. So at the beginning, that is CaSO, that is definitely in the carbon on, that is the same. You just look at the carbon on. So carbon on CaSO, that is the same for both. However, in carbon 2, you just see the hydroxyl functional group in the left hand side, that is on the right hand side, the figure left hand side. So in the hydroxyl functional group at the carbon 2, that is on right hand side. However, in case of right hand figure, you just see the hydroxyl functional group is in the left side. However, both is made from C6H12O6. So depending on that, also carbon 3 just opposite to each other. Carbon 4, that is also opposite to each other. Carbon 5, that is also opposite to each other. Carbon 6, that is you just again see both is same. So carbon on and carbon 6, that is same. However, in other position, the O is functional group just opposite to each other. So depending on that, so depending on the position of the OS functional group in 2, 3, 4, and 5, we are saying that that is opposite to each other. So now we are saying both is made from C6H12O6. That is true. Initially we are saying both is glucose. However, now we see there is some structural difference, and that because of that structural difference, the left hand side we are saying D-glucose, the right hand side we are saying L-glucose. But both is glucose because that is made from C6H12O6. And because of the position of that OS functional group in 2, 3, 4, and 5, remember that 2, 3, 4, and 5. So, but on and 6, that is the same. So 2, 3, 4, and 5. So depending on that, sometimes we are saying D glucose, sometimes we are saying L glucose. So what is D and what is L glucose? So initially we have mentioned at the before this slide, we have mentioned that cellulose is made from glucose. Now we have some confusion. Is it L-glucose or is it D-glucose? Because now we have tried to understand the structure of the cellulose glucose. When we start to know that glucose, structure of the glucose, now we have confusion, because earlier we have mentioned that is made from glucose, but now we are seeing that is two different types of glucose is there. One is D-glucose, one is L-glucose. So okay, let's see what is D-glucose and what is L-glucose. But in the what about the structure, 1 and 6 position is same. So just look at this. So carbon 2, carbon 4, and carbon 5, the OS functional group should be right hand side, and in the carbon 3 position, the OS that should be at the left hand side. We will say that is the D glucose. In the opposite, in the L glucose, on we will talk about only 2, 3, 4, and 5 carbon position, and the OS functional group of 2, 4, and 5, that is left hand side. In case of 3 carbon position, third carbon position, so that is on the right hand side. So now the structure is clear to us. On is D glucose, on is L glucose. Now we'll go for the second one. However, we are saying that is the linear structure, but in wood, definitely that will not be linear. the structure, that definitely will be circular. And all the figures we have, you have seen earlier, definitely that is not linear structure. That is just like a ring. So we are saying that is the cyclic structure. So always you will see on cyclic structure, and it has 6 arms. So in the left side, you will just see 6 arm. So 6 arm, we have 6 carbon, but you see there is some oxygen. So, however, we are saying C6H12O6 is glucose. Whatever D or L, we know D and we know L. However, both is made from C6H12O6. So you just see there is on oxygen, so it means there is 5 carbon and 1 oxygen. So if the structure is made from 6 arm structure, however, there in the 6 arm structure, 5 comes from the carbon and 1 from the oxygen. So we will say that is the pyranose structure. So that glucose makes the always the pyranose structure. So in the structure, in the cyclic structure of pyranose, never think that there is 6 carbon. Definitely there is 5 carbon. Definitely there is 5 carbon and oxygen. So we have 1 more carbon. That carbon is connected at the 5th carbon, because carbon it has 4 arms. So 2 is already used, and another 2 that is in different way they will use. But in that oxygen it doesn't have any charge because O2, so it has 2 arms. So in the 5th carbon position it will, so that we will see in different ways. But that from that C6H12O6, 5 carbon is used in the structure. So now we are saying if the glucose makes the cyclic structure of pyranose, so then we will say cyclic structure, then we will say that is the pyranose. So in a pyranose there will have 5 carbon and 1 oxygen. So earlier you have mentioned that linear structure, and when you make the linear structure, there is 2 different types of glucose. One is D glucose, one is L glucose. And now you will see. Okay, so one more thing, in food, mostly that is the D glucose you will find, not L glucose. So that is one thing you need to remember. So we are seeing there is 2 different types. When we see the linear structure, we will see in the linear structure, there is 2 different types of glucose. One is D glucose, one is L glucose. How is D glucose? Because that is the stable, more stable. So when that D glucose makes the ring, you will just see carbon on, that is the CH. So that if you can remember at the beginning, then at the 2 there is one functional group on the right hand side. So in 3, in 4, in 5, and 6. So that gradually turns into cyclic structure, and finally it can mix 2 different types of anomer, 2 different types of structure. So that both it can make from glucose, D glucose. However, some of the D glucose at the bottom figure you will just see alpha anomer and beta anomer. So almost similar structure you will see, but you just see the hydroxyl functional group at the carbon on position. So in the left hand side, alpha anomer you will see the OH that at the OH that is on the upper hand side, upper position. So in another way, we will see CH2OH and OH, CH2OH at the carbon 5 position, and the OH that is just opposite. However, in the beta anomer, the carbon on position OH and carbon 5 position CH2OH that is in the same side. So alpha anomer CH2OH in the 5th carbon position, and the carbon on position OH that is in different direction, but in beta anomer that is on the same side. So depending on that, Sometimes we are saying alpha anomer, sometimes that depending on that structure. So when we see the linear structure different, and if we get the linear structure of D, that can again make alpha or beta. So which one will choose or not choose? Which one will get in wood? Definitely beta. So earlier we have mentioned that wood is made from glucose, but now we cannot say wood is made from glucose. Wood is made from beta D glucose. That means in wood you will get beta anomer and D glucose. So that beta NMR comes from D glucose. So earlier that was quite simple. Cellulose is made from glucose, but in wood chemistry, as long as you study the wood chemistry, you cannot say that wood is made from glucose, because glucose are different types. Linear structure, alpha beta, linear structure, that is DL. In case of cyclic structure, there is alpha beta. So you cannot say that is simply made from glucose. You have to mention that wood is made from beta D glucose. But again, that is not true, because that structure may be linear, that structure may be cyclic. But I have mentioned earlier that in wood, all the structure that is the cyclic structure. So when that is cyclic structure, that is made that is called pyranose. So you have to say that wood is made from beta D glucopyranose, because pyranose comes from the glucose, because fructose that can also make the pyranose. Fructose is also C6H12O6. So glucose, fructose, galactose, so all this is C6H12O6, but our target is to go for the glucose. So when the C6H12O6, that can also make the pyranose structure. So you have to mention that wood is made from beta anomer, D type glucose, glucopyranose, because the structure is pyranose. So from now and onward, never say that wood is made from glucose. Wood is made from beta D glucopyranose. And in this structure, you will just see, so the first figure, you will just see CH2O is the first carbon, second carbon, and in the fifth carbon, you will just see fifth carbon, that is OH, and that is connected with that first carbon. So that is O. And finally, it makes the 5 carbon in the cyclic structure, and there is on oxygen. So now we are saying wood is made from beta D glucopyranose. So that is a different structure, and that is the position of the carbon, because that is very important when you write what is alpha, what is beta, what is L, what is D. So that carbon position is very important. Remember that carbon position. So in the opposite direction, so that alpha, you just see OH and CH2OH, that is in the opposite direction. So that we are saying that is the alpha, but that comes from D glucose. However, CH2OH and OH, that is in the opposite direction. And in the right hand side, that is the same side direction. So that we are saying beta. So now we are saying beta D glucopyranose, that we have already discussed. So earlier we have mentioned that wood is made from glucose. Now we are saying beta D glucopyranose, but there is still now on 4. So what is the on and 4? So if you see the chain, you will see the connection is between carbon on and carbon 4. So we are saying on and 4. The linkage is between carbon on and carbon 4. So we are saying beta on 4 D glucopyranose. So from now and onward, you will mention that wood is made from beta on 4 D glucopyranose. So cellulose is made from beta on 4 D glucopyranose. Never mention that wood is made from only glucose, because we are studying the wood chemistry. So the details of that we need to know. And that type of bonding, we will say glucopyranosic bond. So glucopyranosic bond is made between carbon on and carbon 4. So that we have already discussed. Cellulose is polysaccharide made from monosaccharide, and the name of that monosaccharide is D-glucose that we have mentioned earlier. So how many monomers are there? There is maybe 8 to 10,000 monomers. So it has not only D-glucose, the monomer is beta. So we are saying beta D-glucose, and the linkage is between on and 4. So we are saying beta on 4D glucopyranose. And when it rotates, that is very interesting. You just see in the, so at the left hand figure, you will just see the carbon position 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So that glucose chain, beta D glucose, that are making the cellulose chain. So you just see at the first monomer, CH2OH position. Look at the CH2OH position that is on the upper direction. In the second monomer, you will see that is just in the opposite direction. So that is on the downward side. So it means the monomer rotates 180 degree. Otherwise, that will not be linear. That will be angular. The chain will be just like that will be straight, but not like that, not like a straight line. So it rotates. So we are saying that. Okay, again in the third monomer, you will see that comes on the upper position CH2OH, that means fifth carbon, sixth carbon connected with the fifth carbon, that is on the upper end position. Again in the fourth monomer, that is on the downward position. So in is anhydroglucopyranose units rotates 180 degree. When they are connected, definitely is monomer that rotates 180 degree. That is very important information that you need. So what is the degree of polymerization? Degree of polymerization is 8 to 10,000. That means 8 to 10,000 monomers are there. And that is a linear polymer. And that is only possible because each monomer is rotates 180 degrees. 180 degree. So it doesn't have any branch. And because of that, we have mentioned earlier that that is made from 100% glucose, not other monomers are there. So because of that, we are saying that is a linear polymer, also that is a homopolymer, because the monomers are same monomer. If that is different monomer, then that not homopolymer. Homopolymer, it means the monomers are same. So definitely cellulose makes wood. However, that is a very good for food for animals and also bacteria, because that is made from glucose. So if we can also break down that, that is glucose, because you know glucose, everybody is eating taking the glucose to get the instant energy. So definitely that is very important for everybody, or for the human beings or the animals, because they need instant energy, so they can get the glucose. And the same glucose we can also take. So if we can break down that cellular chain, definitely we will get the bacteria, fungus, they can secrete the enzyme, that enzyme break down that, so that that can take it. But we don't have the cellulase enzyme, so that we cannot break it, we cannot take that. So that is very important. So that is not only makes wood, so that cellulose is important, that is also good food for everybody, all the animals and microbes. So in the cellulose, you will only see that is the hydrogen bond. In mostly, not only in cellulose, also hemicellulose, also in lignin, mostly that is the hydrogen bond. And if you just see, look at the figure, you will just see that is hydrogen bond is there, and some of them, some of the bond within a chain, we will say that is the intra-hydrogen bond, and some of the bond you will see at the between two cellular chain, that is the intermolecular hydrogen bond. So because of that stronger inter and intramolecular hydrogen bond in the crystalline region, it will not absorb moisture, and in the amorphous region, this hydrogen bond is weaker because of the irregularities of the orientation, so that it can absorb. We are saying it has the affinity to water. So that we have mentioned earlier already. So cellulose, generally we can say three different types. So that different types depends on the source or processing, how we are getting that cellulose or what is the source of that cellulose. So cellulose on, that is the native cellulose that is found in nature. So that we are saying like cotton, that is pure cellulose, 99.8% or 99.4%. Okay, let's think that that is the 99% pure or 98% pure. So that we are getting in the nature. So that would be cellulose on. Cellulose 2, that is the native cellulose which has been soaked in alkali or regenerated cellulose. So that you are just going to treat that with alkali or some other things. So it has some modification, which we will say that is the cellulose type 2. And cellulose 3 and 4 form some cellulose that has been treated with various reagents. So if that is treated with other material, so we will say that is the cellulose 3 and 4. So in the nature, what we get the cellulose, we will say that is the cellulose on. If that put in the alkali, we will say that is the cellulose type 2, and type 3 and 4 you will just modify that, that is the modified cellulose, we will say that is the type 3 and 4. Now the cellulose has different types depending on the chemical nature. So that we have discussed a bit earlier, that is again alpha, beta and gamma. So alpha cellulose, when you put the cellulose, the natural cellulose you have collected and put it into in 70.5% sodium hydroxide, that means alkaline solution. So you will see, okay, let's think that you have put 10 gram. So after that, when you put that 10 gram cellulose in sodium hydroxide solution, you will see you are getting 7 gram. That is may not true, but we are thinking that okay, we are getting only 7 grams. So 3 gram we have lost. So that 7 gram we will say that is the alpha cellulose. So and definitely the solution, that is alkaline solution, because we are adding the sodium hydroxide. So we are saying that is alkaline solution. Okay, so from that, so you just remove that 7 gram. 7 gram, we are saying alpha cellulose. So when that 7 gram removed, still you have the solution, and that is alkaline. So make it neutral. It means make the pH 7. So what you will get? You will get some precipitation at the floor of that material you are using. So that is also cellulose. So that you will get after neutralizing. Okay, let's think that you have got another 2 gram. When you make the solution neutralize, because you have added the alkaline, you are just make it neutral. So the pH comes 7, and you will see there is some precipitation. So that precipitation is, let's think that that is 2 gram. So 2 gram is beta cellulose. So still we miss 1 gram, and that 1 gram, because earlier alpha cellulose that was 7 gram, earlier alpha cellulose that was 7 gram, then beta cellulose that was 2 gram, and still now 1 gram missing. That missed 1 gram is gamma cellulose, that you cannot collect. So that we are saying the gamma cellulose. So absorption of liquid depend. There is also different types. A portion of the cellulose, it absorbs moisture. We are saying that is the amorphous, that we have mentioned earlier. A portion it cannot absorb anything, that we are saying crystalline. So crystalline, hydrophobic, amorphous, hydrophilic. And physical properties of the cellulose, crystalline cellulose doesn't dissolve in most of the solvents, because the chemicals, it will not penetrate into the crystalline region, but amorphous, it dissolves. So when you add and swelling, when you add the sodium hydroxide, definitely it will swell. So degree of polymerization, there is different formula for degree of polymerization. The molecular weight of the cellulose, then molecular unit of the of each unit. So it means the molecular weight of glucose, a single unit, and the total length. So that you will get that degree of polymerization, and that we know around 8 to 10,000. And there is a different formula that you know very well, that you have studied earlier. So that is the number average. So how many numbers are okay? The total chain weight is 100, and that is 100 unit, 100 monomers. So that on is the just that is the number average, then weight average, and some other methods is there to calculate the molecular weight. So that is the number average, total number, total weight divided by the number of molecules, number of monomers is there. So that is actually cellulose. So if you have any question regarding this slide, regarding the basic of the cellulose, so you can go for it. So I will try to discuss a bit about that. So do you have any question from anybody?
Sir, cellulose 1, cellulose 2 and cellulose 3 and 4 এটা একটা বলতে হবে।
Cellulose on, it means from the nature what you are collecting. Input there is cellulose. So you have extracted that cellulose, that is cellulose on. Cotton you are getting from the nature, that is cellulose. That is the natural cellulose, we will say. What you will get from the nature. When you modify with alkali, you will say that is the cellulose type 2. And when you are making different products using by using different chemical reactions, that is cellulose either 3 or 4. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Any other question from anybody? Any other
স্যার
question?
টাইপস অফ সেলুলোজ এটা যদি একটু বলতেন স্যার, ডিসকানেক্ট হয়ে গেছিলাম, কিছু শুনতে পাই নাই
কোনটা?
স্যার। যে টাইপস অফ সেলুলোজ, আলফা সেলুলোজ, বিটা সেলুলোজ, গামা সেলুলোজ,
এটা কে বলতে পারবা? এটা আমি আগেও একটা ক্লাসে ডিসকাস করছি।
স্যার আলফা সেলুলোজ হলো যদি 17.5% সোডিয়াম হাইড্রোক্সাইড দ্রবণে ডোবাই সেলুলোজ, আর তারপরে সেটাকে নিউট্রাল করার জন্য যদি কোনো অ্যাসিডিক কোনো কিছু মেশায় নিউট্রাল করার পরে যেটুকু প্রেসিপিটেশন হবে সেটা হলো বিটা সেলুলোজ, আর যেটুকু বাকি থাকবে সেটা গামা সেলুলোজ।
So the where, okay, you have the cellulose and you are adding sodium hydroxide solution, and the 17.5% sodium hydroxide solution you are adding with the cellulose, so that you will see some portion is dissolved and some portion don't dissolve. So don't dissolve portion, that we will say alpha. And definitely there is sodium hydroxide solution, it means that is alkaline. So you just make it neutral, make the solution neutral. So you will see some precipitation is there. So that precipitate portion, that we are saying beta. Still some portion you will see you cannot get. So that we are saying gamma. So alpha cellulose not dissolved. Beta cellulose dissolved in 17.5% solution, but precipitate when make it neutral. That precipitate portion is beta, and a portion you will not get it, that will still dissolve. So that is the gamma cellulose. Okay.
ইয়েস স্যার।
Any other question? Any other question? Any other question from anybody? আচ্ছা, তোমরা আমার সাথে এখন কোশ্চেন নাই কারো? কোশ্চেন না থাকলে আমি অন্য বিষয়ে আলাপ করব। কোশ্চেন আছে না নাই? ওকে, সো তোমাদের এক্সাম জানতে চাইছো এক্সাম কিভাবে হবে? তোমাদের এক্সাম যেভাবে হবে সেটা হলো যে তোমরা একটা এক্সাম দিবা, একটা অ্যাসাইনমেন্ট দিবা। তোমরা কিন্তু আমাকে ডেট জানাইতে বলছিলাম সিআর কে, সিআর আমাকে ডেট জানাও নাই।
স্যার আমি আসলে কদিন অনেক বেশি অসুস্থ ছিলাম, এজন্য আপনাদের জানাইতে পারিনি।
হ্যাঁ, সো গ্রুপে তুমি ডেট জানাই দিবা কবে অ্যাসাইনমেন্ট নিতে চাও আর কবে তোমরা পরীক্ষা দিতে চাও।
জি স্যার।
সো তোমাদের যেটা করতে হবে যে যদি এক্সামের ডেটে, ধরো আজকে এক্সাম যদি হয়, ধরে নাও যে 11টা 30-এ, সরি 10টা 30-এ তোমাদের এক্সাম হবে। সো 10টা 30-এ আমি তোমাদেরকে কোশ্চেন দিয়ে দিব, এখানে যে চ্যাট বক্স আছে, চ্যাট বক্সে তোমাদেরকে কোশ্চেন দিয়ে দিব, কোশ্চেনের লিঙ্কটা দিয়ে দিব। কোশ্চেনটা থাকবে হলো গুগল ফর্মে। সো লিঙ্কে ক্লিক করলে ওটা গুগল ফর্মে চলে যাবে, ওখানে তোমরা তো বলছো এমসিকিউ কোশ্চেন, তাই না?
জি
জি
স্যার।
স্যার।
ওকে, সো এমসিকিউ ওখানে থাকবে, হয়তো তো ধরে নাও যে 25টা কোশ্চেন, তোমাদের সময় আছে 10 মিনিট। তো 10 মিনিট পরে 10 মিনিটের ভিতরে যদি তোমরা সাবমিট না করো তাহলে আর সাবমিট করতে পারবা না। সো 10 মিনিটে তোমাদেরকে সাবমিট করতে হবে, সো অটোমেটিক্যালি আমি আমার রেজাল্ট পেয়ে যাব। এটা তোমাদের এমন না যে তোমাদেরকে আগে থেকে আমি কোশ্চেন দিয়ে দিব, ঠিক ওই রাইট টাইমে তোমরা যারা যারা জুমে কানেক্টেড থাকবে আমার সাথে তাদেরকে আমি লিংকটা দিয়ে দিব, এবং দেন তোমরা বাকি কাজটা করে ফেলবা। তোমরা যদি মনে করো যে 10-এর পরে সাবমিট করবা কেউ, তা সেটা কিন্তু তোমরা করতে পারবা না, কারণ ওটা তো সিস্টেম দিয়ে সাবমিশন হবে, সো ইউ ক্যানট সাবমিট ইট আফটার দ্যাট। আমাকে ক্লিয়ার করতে পারছি তোমাদেরকে?
জি স্যার।
আর কোনো কোশ্চেন আছে? আর কারো কোনো কোশ্চেন আছে?
স্যার কোশ্চেন অ্যান্সার কি স্যার ওই লিংকেই স্যার ক্লিক করলে হয়ে যাবে স্যার?
হ্যাঁ, ওখানে অপশন থাকবে, ধরো 4টা 3টা 2টা, যে কোনো একটা অপশন থাকবে, অপশনে তোমরা ক্লিক করবা, ওইটাই। তোমাদেরকে লেখালেখির কোনো ইস্যু নাই এখানে।
জি স্যার।
একটাতে ক্লিক করতে যদি অন্য একটাতে ক্লিক করি, পরবর্তীতে স্যার আমি কি চেঞ্জ করে আমার অ্যান্সার দিতে পারবো, মানে ওই 10 মিনিটের মধ্যেই, সাবমিশনের আগে?
বেসিকটা কেন তোমরা বুঝো না? সাবমিশন না হইলে তো তোমার, যতক্ষণ সাবমিট না করতেছো ততক্ষণ পর্যন্ত তুমি যা ইচ্ছা তা করতে পারবে, সাবমিট করার পরে আর কিছু করতে পারবে না। এটাই তো বেসিক হওয়ার কথা।
জি
সাবমিট
স্যার।
করার আগ পর্যন্ত তো তোমার। আর কিছু? আর কিছু আছে? তোমাদের কোনো কোশ্চেন আছে? তোমাদের আর কোনো কোশ্চেন আছে?
নো স্যার।
আচ্ছা, তোমাদের সাথে কি আমি আরেকটা ক্লাস নিতে পারবো এই শনিবারে? স্যাটারডেতে তোমরা ক্লাস করবা নাকি করবা না? এটা এক্সট্রা ক্লাস হিসাবে ট্রিটেড হবে। পসিবল তোমাদের পক্ষে? শেয়ার।
স্যার ওই দিন 11টা একটা ক্লাস আছে, তার আগে
শনিবারে ম্যাডামের ক্লাস?
স্যার না স্যার, অন্য একটা এক্সট্রা ক্লাস আছে আমাদের।
তো আরেকটা এক্সট্রা ক্লাস করতে পারবো না?
স্যার মানে 11টার আগে বা পরে দিলে স্যার পারবো, তার আগে।
শনিবারে?
জি স্যার।
না, আমি তো,
শনিবারে
বলো।
শনিবার স্যার 9টা এই সময় হলেই স্যার করতে পারবো আমরা।
তাহলে কি শনিবার 9টায় আমি ক্লাস টাইম দিব?
জি
এটা
স্যার।
তোমার এক্সট্রা ক্লাস, কারণ আমি গত সপ্তাহে তো আসলে মানে প্রপারলি ক্লাস নিতে পারি নাই, আমার একটা মিটিং ছিল এই কারণে। তো তাহলে
স্যার।
তোমাদের স্যাটারডে সকাল 9টায় কি আমি একটা ক্লাস নিতে পারবো? আমি হয়তো 2 ঘন্টা নিব না, 1 ঘন্টার ক্লাস নিব, যদি তোমরা এগ্রি করো। তোমরা এগ্রিড?
জি স্যার।
ওকে, সো থ্যাংক ইউ ভেরি মাচ। আমি 2 ঘন্টা ক্লাস নিব না, আমার ক্লাস শেষ, সো 90 মিনিটস। সো আশা করতেছি স্যাটারডেতে আমি সকাল 9টায় তোমাদের সাথে ক্লাস নিব। ওকে
ওকে স্যার।
ওকে, সো থ্যাংক ইউ ভেরি মাচ, হ্যাভ এ গুড ডে।